It's okay. It was just a balloon. It's okay. Maya, it's okay. Maya, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The neighbors are partying and she's spooked by a balloon. So, in mid-March, right around the time it's like March 22nd, I'm about to get to my 1 year mark, and I'm feeling good. I get a phone call or I get a text. No, I text Skip. Something about. Oh man, I gotta look it up. It was something about. I don't remember. I texted Skip about something. I guess I was feeling a little bit confident because I knew that I'm past the 1 year mark. I texted about something. I can't remember what it was, but he answered me very quickly, and he said, "By the way, how's the move coming?" And I said, it's coming fine. I'm just waiting on some money that I should be getting in mid-April, and then it should be able to happen. It's going to happen, pretty quickly. And he said, okay, well, because I got some guys coming to do work starting April 28th. So if you can be out by April 28th, that'd be great. And I said, yeah, sure, that should not be a problem. I think that it'll be like mid-April. That'll be no problem. So about 10 minutes goes by, and I get a text from Anthony. And he says, hey, man, we need to be out by April 15th. I said, okay, well, I just heard from Skip that we have to be out by April 28th because he got some work done. Anthony says, well, yeah, but I'm planning on leaving mid-April, like April 15th, and I'm gonna shut the power off and stuff. So that'd be good. And I was like, okay, well, if I can make that work, I will. Okay. It's just a balloon. It's okay, Maya. So here's some more stuff. Anthony's like, he apparently finds out from Skip that we have to be out by April 28th and tells me, hey, we got to be out April 15th. Some more like working against me stuff. Not honest. Whatever. I'm already over Anthony at this point. So yeah, sure enough, he's starting to like throw, mid-April, early April, he's starting to like throw away a lot of stuff. I let him know, hey, anything that, you're going to toss or you want to sell, let me know. He's okay. And then like over the next few days, he sells me the kitchen table and chairs for $20. Sells me this couch I'm sitting on for, it was also $20. Sells me the table that my computer's sitting on in there for $10. Sells me the bed, and it's a full-size mattress and box spring for I think like $10. I got for $100. I got like a start your own house kit, and he threw in a ton of other stuff. He threw in like plates, bowls, mixing stuff, pots, pans, a microwave. I got a house for like $100. Stuff to fill a house. Anyway, that was early April, and then mid-April comes, and sure enough, he's getting rid of the last of his stuff. So I decide that the date that I want to break it to Skip is on April 19th. I like the date April 19th. April 19th represents to me stopping taking crap from people. Because that's the day that the American revolutionaries stopped taking crap from the British Commonwealth and opened fire and had a battle, I think it was at Concord in 1775. So I figured that's a good date. I like that date. I'm going to tell Skip on that date. In fact, I'm going to tell him at 4/19. 4/19 on 4/19. And I craft a letter to let him know I will move out, but he's got to give me a certain amount of notice, or, I can even move out by April 28th, but I want a certain amount of money. I asked for a pretty generous amount of money. I had just gotten done hearing Anthony tell his sister as he was moving, and she had her kids over here helping him, that he pays $700 a month rent, and Skip wants to raise it to $1,400 a month, to market value $1,400 a month. That's a difference of $700 a month, which is a difference of $8,400 a year. And so I figured it's totally reasonable to ask for twice that ish. I asked for 17.5. Asked for 17.5 to move out right away, basically within 10 days by the time he's April 28th. Or 16, I think I asked for 16 to move out by July 4th. April 19th, July 4th. And then I asked finally for 15 to move out after that. Or I said I'd move out temporarily if he gave me $500 a month while I'm gone so they can renovate. And that was it. So I put that in writing, and he was in the parking lot that day. I sent him a text at like 4 o'clock. I said, hey, don't leave. I'm going to catch you in a minute on the phone, though. For 4:10, 4:12, it comes around. 4:15, he's like knocking on the door. He's like, Doug. I'm like, okay. So I couldn't quite wait till 4:19. It was probably 4:19 when I actually broke the news to him because I talked to him for like a 2-minute preamble. And I let him know I'm planning on staying. And I handed him the piece of paper, and he was not happy. But that was the last I heard of him, from him, until April 29th, the day after they start work. He's down there in the parking lot looking at how the work's going. I'm getting on my bike, heading out to go get water down the street. I wave to him. He doesn't wave back. But then he turns back, and he kind of flags me down. And he says, so when are you planning on leaving? And I said, I don't know. He said, well, you can't park on the lot anymore. I said, well, yes, I can, because this apartment has a parking spot. He's like, no, it doesn't. I said, well, it did before. It still does. You can't change that. I said, okay, I'm going to tell you. I said, no, you're not. And then he walked off, and I drove off and went down to get water. I came back, 10 minutes later with all the water. And I park where I always park, which is kind of against the wall right below the unit here. And he says, hey, if you're going to park here, I'm going to tow it. I said, well, you can't. We have a parking spot. I couldn't, same thing. And he's like, okay, fine, I'm going to tow it. I said, listen, you could tow it, but I use this vehicle for work, which I do. I'm a courier delivery person. So I use it for work. So if you tow it and I lose wages, I'm just going to sue you for those lost wages. So I'll need your address. He kind of smiled, and I said, or I can just wait for you to come around here and serve you myself. And then the smile went away. And then he said, okay, fine. Well, can you just park in a spot? I said, fine. Felt like I won, really. So I went over, I parked in a spot, but he didn't like the spot I parked in because I guess it was too close to the construction equipment. So I came upstairs to get ready for work, and I'm putting on my jacket. He says, or I could tow it right now. So I poked my head out. I said, I'm leaving in 2 minutes, but you could try. And he got kind of red in the face. He didn't like that little attitude. And he gets on his phone, and then I go down there, I start, the bike, and I go to work. So I come back at like 4, after working for 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And there's a small package on the door, and I'm expecting a bigger package. Boots should have been big, like they go up to your knees. They're big. Should have been a big box there. There wasn't. I opened it up, and sure enough, it's some stuff that I ordered, mirrors and some stuff for working. I think it was some sockets and vice grips for working on the bike. And I look online, and sure enough, I had a bunch of deliveries that day. The boots did come, and as did a few other things. And so I look around, they're nowhere. I'm like, Skip stole my deliveries. I got mad. I got livid. So I sent him a bunch of texts, and he didn't respond to any of them. And but I couldn't prove it, and so I called Amazon. They said they're going to replace the stuff, so I was a little less angry. And then I realized that the power was off. So I called the power company, and they say, well, yeah, we'll put the power in your name, and we can come out and turn it on, but you got to wait till Monday. This was Friday late afternoon. So I should have called the cops, but I didn't realize how illegal it was for him to turn off the power on me. At this point, he's calling me a squatter. I think he's assuming I'm a squatter. He's assuming that he can legally turn off the power. It's not a huge deal. So I run my scooter like all weekend long with an inverter on it. It didn't quite power the refrigerator, but the refrigerator stayed cold. I put some ice in there. It was fine. Strangely fine. So I'm running power off the scooter, charging phones, charging laptops, powering my modem in my router. And then Monday comes around, and they open up the doors around here, and I realized that, for sure the packages are not, and they weren't just set somewhere to be out of the way of the workers, because the workers were working like right around my front porch. So I thought maybe they moved them downstairs. And then when I saw they weren't downstairs, I called the cops. They came out and they said, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm having a disagreement with my landlord. He's trying to kick me out. We had a disagreement on Friday, and I think he stole my packages." They said, "Do you have any proof?" I said, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you want us to do?" I was like, "Well, the workers were here working. I tried to ask them, but they speak Spanish, and they just, like, this one of them just said yes, and the manager said that he didn't see any deliveries." So they go. Skip was there, so they go and they talk to Skip, and it takes about 5 minutes. And they come back and they say, that he doesn't know anything about any deliveries, but he was trying to get me kicked out. But they said, you have to go through the courts, and then they go and they talk to the workers, and then they don't know anything, of course, and of course they do. Skip must have been furious. I mean, it must have been a scene. Skip taking, because as I found out, it was a vacuum and the boots and some other stuff. I mean, it must have been like Christmas Day on my porch. He must have been livid that not only am I cramping his style, but I'm also buying a bunch of stuff, and that vacuum looked so good. I mean, I ended up getting a replacement, and that box looks really good. It's a big red and white box. And you probably saw red. So as soon as the cops leave, he has a welder come out and change the lock on the gate, the sliding gate. That's the only way to get into the lot. I said to him, "Skip, are you going to give me a key?" He ignored me, just stared forward and looked at the guy doing the welding. So I was a little bit of a brat. I said, "Skipper." He said, "Don't talk to me." He's got this weird Swiss accent. "Don't talk to me." Okay. So I called the cops again. But this time they didn't come out for like 3 hours. And when they did come out, it was like this big burly guy with 2 stripes. And he was acting really weird. He was telling me, "So it looks like you're a squatter, and so you're probably going to have to find somewhere else to live." I was like, "Well, actually I'm a tenant." He's like, "Is there a lease?" I'm like, "No, but I got bills here, and I was after 60 days you're a tenant." It's like, and he makes a phone call to somebody, and then meanwhile, his little partner guy, who's literally a little white guy, is saying is on the phone with Skip and finds out, yes, Skip has told Skip, yes, he has to tape that door open. You can't just lock me out. Can't just lock out somebody who's a tenant, basically. I don't even think you can lock out a squatter. I think it's got to be all like, you got to get the sheriff to do it, and the cops are not throwing me out because I'm a tenant. So he says he's going to tape the door, and then they leave. But also, the big guy says, "Oh, and by the way, the big guy called Skip after the little guy called Skip. The big guy called Skip, and he says, by the way, after he gets off the phone, he talks to me. He says, you can't park here anymore. The landlord says he's got proof, and so they'll tow you, and if you call us, there's nothing we can do." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to confirm that, with housing, that there's no spot here." He's like, "What?" He got irate with me for a second. Like I was questioning him. But why was he so confident that was the way things are? Because he had a phone call. So that guy was acting really weird, and I'm willing to bet that they sent out a specific officer, which made me wonder, I had a feeling Skip was a little bit connected, and that was pretty much a good indication. So I guess part 3 in about 2 seconds. Be right back.